Good evening, and welcome back for tonight's edition of Nearly Live. This is episode 2, and for those of you who don't know, I'm your lovely host, Alexander Falcon. Next to me is Magnum DI.
Aloha to you, and to LaFonda.
Hey, LaFonda. First order of business tonight, definitely wanted to give a huge thank you to the tens of fans out there who watched episode 1. Because of your loyal support, we were actually able to drastically increase the production budget. So, this is all you're doing, so cheers to you guys.
Cheers. This is for our fans.
To the fans.
Our only fans.
Our only fans. Oh my god, I love these.
I mean, if you want to get drunk on pickles, boom.
Yeah. And we're back. So, we're going to get right into the bread and butter of our show, which are the beer reviews. We know you guys love those chug scores. We've been doing it. We've been chugging. We've been scoring. Chug scores. The first thing we're going to start off with, I believe, is from City Barrel, local Kansas City beer. Magnum DI. You want to give us a little introduction of this guy?
Yeah, so this is called Creative Juice, and for those of you who are local to Kansas City, it's got the shuttlecocks on it, which is fantastic. I think I've mentioned this before. I am a huge sucker for artwork, and it's a pale ale, and I am very excited to get this creative juice in me.
The creative juices are flowing.
They're about to be.
Also, I have a theory about the shuttlecock. The guy who did that artwork, do you think that maybe he just wanted to get Kansas City or any market that he could get that shuttlecock in there to say the word shuttlecock way more often per capita?
He's definitely looking for people to talk about his cocks.
Yeah, he definitely wants to talk shuttlecock. Shuttlecock talk.
I love it.
Local Kansas City shuttlecock talk. Let me grab that glass from you.
Ooh.
Yeah,
We're
let's
fancy
get
now.
it ready to go.
The
Yeah, look at us.
production value stepped up.
We have real glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 2, real glasses. Wow.
Look at the glam up.
The glam up. Speaking of glam up, let's get that pop. Ooh. Not a bad pop, not the best pop either.
I've had better.
I've had better. Now on the pour, look at that, guys. You guys can see it. On the pour, this is a lot lighter than I was anticipating. It's a pale ale, not too malty. Almost, it reminds me of kind of like a hazy, although it's not an IPA at all. Give it a... Oh. It kind of has that, like, maybe like a little tropical sense to it. What are you getting on this?
No, it's definitely got a nice fruity smell to it.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to get some juiciness coming through in it.
Yeah, that's the name Creative Juices. Probably.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I will say this. The nose is as vibrant as the can.
Sure.
Sure. Well, pinkies up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that snoot. This is surprising that it's a pale ale. It drinks much like a hazy IPA, except, I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot smoother.
Yeah, it's not as bitter. It doesn't have as much of the hops.
Yeah, yeah.
They have not recently added more hops to it.
McLovin!
Shout out McLovin from Hawaii.
From Hawaii. He's an organ donor.
Hawaiian organ donor.
25-year-old Hawaiian organ. It was between that or Muhammad. Yeah, so, well, that's the meat of it. Let's
My
get
pinky's
to the...
getting tired. Let's
Yeah, pinkies are getting tired. Let's get that chug score. Boop. After further chug review, Magnum DI, what are you giving that?
So, normally you wouldn't think of a pale ale as a chugging beer. However, this one, it's not as heavy as you would think for a lot of pale ales. It goes back to what you were saying about it being lighter on the pour even. So I actually give it a 5.2, which is, again, above average and higher than what I would normally give a pale ale.
Yeah, so I'm going to fully agree with you. 5.2 is a very fair score. Just to give a little variation, I'm going to go slightly higher at a 5.4. Not even a disagreement with you, only that I totally agree that the pale ale is pale ales are what I would call like the fives of chugging. You know, like they're right in the middle. They're not, they're not Boddingtons. They're not Mom Water. They're not these really like super easy chugging beers. But they're also not Imperial Stouts, which are on the tail end of that scale. They're somewhere in the middle. And this was a slightly above average chugger with all the flavor of like a hazy IPA, but without that kick you in the mouth of an IPA.
And I'll tell you though, chugging them's great, but sipping them's even better.
Yeah. It's definitely much better for, kicking back a beer. I don't think it was brewed to be a chugger anyway, but and yet, an above 5 score is an above 5 score.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? There it is. There you have it, guys. Creative Juice from City Barrel.
In collaboration with Nelson Atkins.
With the Nelson Atkins. Shuttlecock Talk, Kansas City.
And we're back.
So, rolling right into it, after City Barrel got with the Creative Juice, we actually have what I believe is actually a fairly new Modelo. It's a Modelo Oro. First I've heard of it, anyway. I don't want to misquote and be like, yeah, this has been around for years. But I think it's very similar to the competitors of like your Mich Ultras, your Corona Premiers, the much lighter. 90 calories, 3 grams of carbs, real light beer. I'm expecting a pretty high chug score on this. Let me see that there, old Magnum DI.
Here you go, sir.
Look at this. Gold standard light beer. This case is real good for that shoulder carry. In case you're, skateboarding down the boardwalk at Lake Owaitha, maybe Shawnee Mission Lake, if you will.
It sends a message.
Yeah, it sends a message. For all the fans in Venice Beach and Santa Monica, maybe you're on the boardwalk, you just let them know, I've got cervezas, and guess what? I'm also not going to get morbidly obese because they're light. They have 3 grams of carbs. Basically, it's keto cervezas.
I think it's like a salad at that point.
Yeah, this is basically a cerveza salad. So, let's crack these bad boys open. Let's get you an Oro. Am I even saying that right? Is it Oro?
Oro?
Oro. Modelo Oro. O-R-O. You tell us, all you tens of fans.
It's the gold standard of light beer. It says it right there on the can.
Yeah, it does say so right there on the can.
So you know it's true.
Yeah.
And it is a beer brewed in Mexico.
Look at these. It makes your hand feel very large with these, Don't you feel like, oh yes, I have very large hand. This is like baby beer. It's for the child. We put nipple on it, suckle.
I do not have that sensation.
Well, all right, let's go ahead and get that pop. Ooh. Actually, that was a decent pop.
Clean pop.
I don't want to, we're not putting down any other beers, but that's best pop of the night. Maybe even best pop of the show.
Ooh, that, I don't even think it's a controversy.
I don't even know if that's controversial or not. Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Heard it here first. The official pop of Nearly Live.
Yeah, cerveza salad, Modelo Oro? Oro. I'm going to go with Oro.
I think it's Oro.
It is Oro. Let's give this a pour. Let's see what we have here. Oh, pours nice and easy. Look at that sweet gold nectar.
When I pour it, I don't know if you hear it or not. It just literally says, chug me.
Wait. You can hear it in the sizzles. Pinkies up, cerveza salad. Let's get a sniff. Wow. Well, I want to tell you this, man. This is a surprising thing. I'm going to get one more snoot too. Do you get a sensation like this? Almost reminds me of a champagne. I mean,
it's definitely more bubbly
Yeah.
than a lot of the beers we'll have.
yeah. I mean, it's obviously
Probably contributes to the pop.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thus, the cerveza salad golden pop. Science. Next episode, Bill Nye on this show. You heard it here.
I'll be dressing up as Bill Nye next time. Doug Nye!
Yeah, Doug Nye, the science guy.
All right, yeah.
Ooh. Well, pinkies are getting tired. Might as well chug, as they say. Boop.
Got a little dribble. Got a little dribble.
As LaFonda would say, that
She doesn't say much.
And we're back. So after deep review, that chugs just get you one of these bad boys. And yeah, that's a chuggable beer. It's an interruption to any bad time that you're having. Just boom.
I much prefer the chug over the sip.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind the sip either.
And you guys may not know this about old Alexander Falcon, but he loves the bubbly.
Ooh, tell me more.
Yeah. I dabble in everything from $6 champagne to $8 champagne.
High roller.
Yeah. And that gave me some $6 champagne vibes, and not in a bad way.
Love it.
So I enjoyed that, and you're right, but it chugs better than it does. What are you going? What's your score here, bud?
I am gonna go 8.6.
Wow, 8.6. I actually love that. No disagreement. Just for those of you who are looking at, like, how do I judge this system? Anything above a 5 is a decent chug. Anything above a 7 is a very good chug. Above an 8 is an exceptional chug. And 9s and above are just...
Now, I'll tell you, though, one thing that I think could hinder this
Whoa.
is the bubbly sensation from a chuggability perspective.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, it is a little more bubbly, but it was light enough that it just went right down the hatch. Right down the hatch.
I swallowed it easily.
And we're back. So in summation, the Modelo Oro 8.6, I concur. 8.6 chug score, very chuggable. Kind of gives you some champagne vibes. Really good stuff. I think we're going to roll straight in and just hit that third one. I have to say, this is the one I've been looking forward to the whole night. So for those of you who watched, and if you loved our episode 1, keep hitting that like, maybe that subscribe. We got a good handful of subscribers on the last one. Keep it going. We are going straight into the Vizzies as we did the last time. Willow showed up, our surprise guest. She did the Simply Spiked Peach. We wanted to kind of dance into that realm of things. And so we went, instead of a beer, we've got Vizzy Orange Cream Pop.
Ooh!
Yeah, hard seltzer, bro. Hard seltzer.
So hard.
Hard seltzer. Anyway, I'm really excited about this because I freaking love creamsicles, man. You hear that? As you popped open that box, I heard the ice cream truck rolling down the street with his little candy music to get the children a running. Creamsicles, baby. This is what the world's about. You know. Mediocre pop. There, I said it. Not the best pop.
Certainly not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe a hard seltzer isn't. You know, they aren't brewed for the pop.
They're not brewed for popping.
They're not pop.
Maybe they're brewed for chugging.
Oh,
They're certainly brewed for by the pool.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like in hard seltzer fashion, I don't think we need to pour this one for the initial snoot. You know, like no
Sure.
one pours a seltzer. Maybe
We're about to.
well we're about to. We're kind of sociopaths, so
That is true.
yeah. Well, pinky's up. Let's get a fresh from the can
We're gonna get an
snoot.
extra boop, beep. Oh, wow. Did you smell it? Holy shnikes. That's a lot of orange.
I'm gonna let you get your snoot.
That's also a lot of orange.
Yeah, it is not disappointing. No, this is full flavor, orange cream pop.
So while we pour this, I have a question for you.
Go on.
I've long noticed that you leave your pop tab facing up. Do you have any context there on why?
Magnum DI. I want. He's baiting me. He's known for 20 years, 17 years of friendship, that I always leave my can tab up, much to my wife's chagrin. because I can always find my tab, and most people are like, oh yeah, Alexander Falcon. Of course, everyone does something with their tab. Yes, but wait, there's more.
Oh,
yeah.
do tell me.
Yeah, it's a 2 for the price of 1 thing. So if I am chugging from a can, and as you know, you and I think we're very prolific chuggers, and for the viewers out there watching us chug, you know that's true. So if you have the tab up, put your lip up top. Leaves a lot of air pocket. Man, you can chug a can faster than the average bear.
Okay.
And I'm not even talking hibernation season. Bears, they can lap up a lot of liquid.
You heard it here first. Alexander Falcon can chug a beer faster than a bear?
Just put that lip right up at the top. Boom.
Well, that took
You're welcome.
entirely longer than I expected, but thank you for that story.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get this chug in.
You're welcome.
It is, again, to your point, I don't know that I've ever had a seltzer in a glass, so I didn't know what to expect.
It's translucent. What's that movie where Natalie Portman goes in to fight the wild, the extraterrestrial wild things, where it's very translucent?
Star Wars.
That's not it. Anyway, it's like that. Vizzy, orange cream pop. Pop! Pop! Boop, boop. Let's get that chug score.
Boom. Drink it.
Yeah.
Or chug it.
That's a winner. That's a winner. What are you giving that? Chug score wise. Love giving you the honors on this.
We can give it an 8-8.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so I have a
little above the Modelo Oro.
Yeah.
A little below the Outlaw.
The Outlaw. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually going to disagree with you on this one. I didn't find that to be a great. No. Let me rephrase that. I did not find that to be as chuggable as some of the others. If you're going 8-8, I'm actually going to go maybe a 7-4.
So let me tell you why you're wrong. And that's
Listen.
because most seltzers that I've had, which again I admitted to not being very many,
Yeah.
they are hyper fizzy,
Yeah.
hyper bubbly, and this, I don't know if it's because it's creamsicle in nature.
Yeah. The creamy.
It's not nearly as put it in your mouth and then you got to burp right away.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can put it down a lot easier.
So I agree in that, in its category, I agree, because a lot of seltzers, they fight you pretty hard because of how much carbonation there is. I did get a little of that as compared to the Modelo Oro or the Outlaw or some of the others. So I actually put it a little lower. However, it's still a great. I mean, you can chug seltzers. I mean, they're very chuggable. You just get a little burp afterwards. But it did. I got a little air fight, but enough to put it in the 7s and the high 7s at that. High 7s. By episode 35 or something, you guys are going to have a real firm grasp of this grading scale.
It's very official.
Yeah, it's very, very official.
Much like inches.
Especially after we chug against a bear. And we're back. So, the next interlude, as it were, is going to be something a little different. We're going to do Things We Like to Party To Songs Edition, but I'm going to let old Magnum D.I. give the deets on this one.
So, there's no denying our love for fantasy football, and so I want to take a snake draft approach.
Here we go.
Now, I don't know if we need 2 or 3. LaFonda, are you getting in on this? I don't think so. What comes on the speakers, and you don't care the environment,
Yeah.
you crank your vocal cords up to 11.
Yeah, social norms be damned. You're going to scream this with all of your soul.
What are social
That's
norms?
this draft.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh!
First overall pick goes Magnum D.I.
And-
Sir, you're on the clock. And we're back. Magnum DI and I love fantasy football. We've been playing for decades. We just did a snake draft, which you'll see in some of the other videos we have. Check out our YouTube. Check it out. Also, subscribe to Missie's Instagram, TikTok, whatever. She's the one putting out all this stuff. Missie's Discount Liquor right here in Shawnee. Right on Shawnee Mission Parkway in Quivira. Real easy to get to.
Shout out Missie!
Shout out Missie! So if you want, check that out. Otherwise, we'll give you a little recap of our choices so you can decide for yourselves who won the draft.
So Team Magnum DI won the draft with this team. Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. And then second pick was Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Third pick, DMX, Up in Here. Fourth pick, The Ringer, Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA.
Yeah, so mine obviously won objectively.
Erroneous!
With the second overall pick, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, captured the hearts and souls of millions. Right into the friend zone pick. Biz Marquee, you say he's just a friend. You can't not belt it. Third pick, the Kansas City local favorite, your seventh inning stretch, Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places. And bringing it home with the fourth pick, Casey and JoJo, All My Life, the steal of the draft.
For those who don't know, that was my sleeper, and I am still bitter.
Let us know who won in the comments. Like and subscribe. We'll do more drafts like this.
And if there's a song that wasn't on our list, let us know in the comments section.
And we're back. Today we've got Maker's Mark Bourbon, and I believe this is actually is it Blueberry Crumble? Bourbon Crumble, excuse me.
I was to say,
Not blueberry. Not Blueberry Crumble.
no hints of blueberry at all. So, like last time, we have a special blend created just for Missy's Discount Liquors here in Shawnee, Kansas. And so, the way the private selection process works for Maker's Mark is you have 10 options across 5 staves to kind of develop your own concoction. And so, the way that they did the split for the Maker's Mark, Missy's specific brand, is they have 2 for baked American pure, not puree, by the way, it's just pure. 4 for Maker's Mark 46, which is the standard Maker's Mark brand for this level, and then 4 for roasted French Mendiant, which I admittedly have no idea what that is, but I have a little guide here that was on the bottle, and so just to give you a little insight, Baked American Pure 2 delivers notes of light, sweet honey and vanilla with a soft oak finish.
Ooh.
And again, that's 2 of the 10. And then 4 for Maker's Mark 46, which is designed to impart rich hints of dark fruits. Maybe there's your blueberries.
Could be blueberries. It's up in the air.
With a long finish of baking spices, and then again another 4 for roasted French Mendiant. I might be saying that wrong, but that is imparting hints of milk chocolate, dried fruit, nuts, and coffee with a long, rich finish.
So you're saying the dried fruit may or may not be blueberry?
There could be double blueberry.
Yeah, it's up in the air. We don't know. It's not.
So, as with all Maker's Mark, you get that great wax.
The wax seal, its signature.
I love it. And so I'm going to go ahead and pour us both a snoot here and let your senses start in the nostrils.
Absolutely.
With the drive-by.
Before we start with the nostrils, what I'm going to say is that let your eyes notice the new production value whiskey snifter glasses. These things are a great addition to the show, and we're grateful to have them. Cheers, Missies. So I'm getting a lot, and again from last time, I'm getting a lot of stuff that much more of a traditional bourbon smell, as to where the last one we did on the last episode was much more like a little more spicy.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be, I guess maybe a little more accurate, spiced. Not necessarily in the sense of like a spicy burn.
Of course, yeah.
But like spices.
Sure.
But yeah.
But what are you getting on this?
So I think some of those dried fruits might be cherry.
Oh yes, yeah.
but it does
Definitely picking that up.
come to the nose as much more of a traditional bourbon in that sense.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited.
This is very, on the heels of the Kentucky Derby, this is kind of right where we want to be, you know? Yeah, Kentucky Derby bourbon.
So let's give it a little taster.
Let's give it a sipperoo.
Pinky up, right?
Pinky up, yeah. Okay, coming from someone, again, knows very little about bourbon. It's very smooth. Easy drinking on the front end. Not bad on the back end. Just like the last one, I could very much picture myself with a cigar. We could go with this on the rocks and really have a good glass of it over time.
I would imagine a lot of people watching this portion of the show have had traditional Maker's Mark.
Sure.
Some may have even had the traditional true Maker's Mark 46 brand, which this is somewhat of a variant of. And you get a lot of that consistent flavors with those two core brands. And so you get what a lot of people love with the Maker's Mark history, the flavor, and everything of that nature. You get a lot of that still shining through with a little bit of that Missie's Discount Liquors special blend variation. So if you're a Maker's Mark fan, you still get a lot of those great qualities.
Yeah.
And then you just get a little something different that, for lack of a better term, spices things up for you in your Maker's Mark rotation.
Yeah, and when you talked about the dried fruit, you do get, I mean, not to say that it's an overwhelming flavor, but you do get a little sense of cherry in there. Like, I do get that a little bit on the back end. Well, that said, let's give it, out of 5 stars, what are you giving that?
So, I will probably give this a 3.7.
3.7.
Which is still very strong. I know that...
so you preferred the copper cask?
I did, and I think part of that was just the flavor profile for that one resonated with me a little bit more. This is good.
Yes.
This is really good.
I would say 3's the halfway point. 3's good.
Yeah.
Below a 3, maybe not as good as you want it to be.
And so I really enjoy this. To your point, I think it works great for sipping, whether it be neat, on the rocks, like you said, depending on what your preferences are. Not that you would necessarily mix a nicer bourbon in something, but I think given that cherry presence, I think that it would work really good in an old-fashioned.
Oh.
So
I totally agree with that, because I do love old-fashions.
If you want to step up your old-fashioned game, and I know it's not a rye whiskey, but I still think that this would work really, really well.
Yeah. All right, so you heard it here first. 3.7. I would say the real summation of this is it's got a good flavor profile with a good hint of that dried fruit, maybe a little cherry flavor. Much more of a traditional Maker's Mark, straight down the narrow bourbon. Great for an old fashioned. I think that's where it shines. I think this would shine most as an old fashioned because of that little cherry kick. I don't even know if I would call it the cherry hint, if you will.
Yeah.
So that said, I would call it perfect old-fashioned bourbon.
And surprisingly, no blueberries.
So shockingly, not a blueberry to be found.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Boop.
And we're back. And that's all, guys. Episode 2 is in the books. Like and subscribe. Check us out. We're going to be posting all over TikTok, all over Instagram, obviously on YouTube. We're glad to do this. We're excited to do it. So this is another episode of Nearly Live from Missie's Discount Liquors. Signing off, I'm Alexander Falcon.
I'm Magnum DI this week.
And as always, our trusty sidekick,
Lavonda.